Hello everyone and welcome into my craft space. Today, Christy, Leah, and myself are so excited to welcome you to this World Card Making Day YouTube playlist collaboration, where we have gathered so many paper crafters to hopefully make a really wonderful playlist for you to hop along with each channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, and do all of the things. Leave them a nice comment. World Card Making Day is always the first Saturday in October, and it is such a fun event to help us remember to send those paper cards. I love nothing more than the feel of paper. I have started with some pre-made card bases. I believe this is what they call the A2 size, which is 4¼ inches by 5½ inches. And I had some of these old little cardstock stacks from Coordinations and Tim Holtz and Ranger. And wouldn't you know it, these wonderful pages are exactly the same size as my card base. So then I went and found my embossing folder. I love this leaf. I love this one here. It just has the frame. And then the leaf, there's a cobweb. And then there's one that has 3 leaves. And I can't tell you the names of those, but they're all Tim Holtz embossing folders. But use what you have. They are so much fun to pull out and really make a great difference in your card. I knew today that I would be wanting to make some Halloween or fall inspired cards because I got this wonderful jack-o'-lantern die cut just recently. It is 662373 and it is called the Layered Jack-o'-lantern, and I think he is my absolute favorite and just so cute. So I've already cut out all the pieces there and we're going to put them together. And then I use this one, and this is 665995. These are by Sizzix. These are die cuts. I love an opportunity to pull them out and give them a good go. This one's called the Bold Text Halloween. I used black colored cardstock for the base of this jack-o'-lantern, and then I sprayed it with some antique linen distress spritz, and then just began building here. I used a crackled orange coordination paper, and I used the same color for all of the other pieces as well, except for the outline, which is the really tiny pieces that we're going to try to put together here. Got those stems on there, and then these are just the outline pieces. And the first way I did it was trying to glue, but that was pretty hard. So a Xyron machine would come in really handy. I've got these pumpkins all pieced together. Aren't they just so cute? I love that spritz in the background. And I don't know if you caught on the second one that I assembled, I was able to put some glue on the back here just because they didn't completely punched out. They just kind of stayed there, which was fantastic because I could run that glue over it and it was a little easier. Now this I'll just discard. The next part I'm gonna do, I'm so excited for. I have got these little googly eyes and I just want to glue them in place. Now you don't have to do googly eyes. It does make it a little bit bumpy. So if you're gonna put this card in the mail, you'll want to keep it nice and flat. Unless if you want to pay it a little bit extra. And this glue does dry clear. So right now you can see a little bit of over surround, but I think it's going to be so cute. And I apologize for that glare. I'll hold it up so you can see it in just a second here. So there he is with their little googly eyes. So cute. I'm going to go ahead and just put some ink along the outside edges. This is fossilized amber. Don't have to do this, but I think it's just going to give a little more dimension to these little jack-o'-lanterns. So cute. Next thing we're gonna do is pull in our little card base here. We're gonna let those googly eyes dry for just a second. We'll set those aside. And you can see I used the die cut out Trick or Treat, and all along the edge here I have this wonderful embossing folder. And I'm going to take just a little bit of sandpaper on one of my dabbers and just kind of run it across there. Pull out that detail just a little bit more. And this is a step you can skip, but it's definitely worth it, I think, because it gives it just a little more distressed look and pulls out that embossing. And I'm going to put ink on this, so that will take the ink very nicely over this color. This is just that Coordinations paper, like I said, but you can use any cardstock that you have. I'm going to put a little bit of some fossilized amber along there. Now that yellow color of cardstock that I used for the last little rim pieces on these die cuts, I have saved a little piece of the scrap there, sprayed it with the spritz, and I'm going to put it in behind these little words. So we're going to go ahead and glue all around here. And we should be able to see that cute little coloration there. And then I'm just going to ink around the edges of this card base before we glue it down. You could round these corners if you want to. Now that we have this all prepared, let's go ahead and glue it onto our card base. This one is going to be a horizontal open, so it's going to open just like this. We're going to go ahead and glue this whole thing right to the base here, and then we'll get our pumpkin situated. Once we've got it into place there, we'll just press it into the fit. Give it a good pat down. All right, so now it will open and it'll be that light off-white color on the inside. Just gonna flatten that out one more time. Okay, so there is our card. It's gonna open like this. It says trick or treat. And we're just going to glue one of our little pumpkins right here. He's gonna be just adorable. You could put some cute little candy die cuts. You could also just leave it just like it is too. You could put some glittery tulle behind there, or just leave it the trick or treat. I think it's super cute either way. Now I'm not showing this leaf how I made that, but it was just with watercolor pencils, water, and watercolor paper. Glue that right there, and then we'll glue our pumpkin right into place. For the inside of this cute card, I am going to use Stampers Anonymous stamp set CMS 452 Unraveled, and I just want this Happy Halloween sentiment here. Put that on our block and pull out some black soot archival ink, and we'll just give this a little stamp on the inside. Perfect. For our other little jack-o'-lantern, we're going to give him a different background. I'm going to use my sandpaper here and go over this that I have embossed on here using an embossing folder. And we're just going to scrape away some of this paper just like so. And you can leave it like this if you like it like that, or you can take your picket fence distress ink and we'll just kind of lightly rub it on there to kind of bring out more of those spiderweb details. And then I'm just going to go along the outside edges as well. And just because I am a glitter kind of a girl, I've got some glossy accents and rock candy glitter here. So we're just going to pick a few spots of this web to add some glitter to. And just kind of randomly hit those spots. And then I'm going to sprinkle the glitter on it. Give it a little tap. And those spots that have the glitter are just going to be very subtle. And we're going to go ahead and glue our cute little jack-o'-lantern right down here in the corner, just like the other one. We could put him in the center, we could put him over here, but I really like him on the left side. Maybe we'll glue this part first. Really get those edges. So I like to kind of open it up, make sure it's all lined up, and just give it a good press down on the inside here. Then for the inside, I've got some little die cut letters that spell out the word boo. You know, the idea behind World Card Making Day is just to give people those paper pieces of handmade art, and I think it's wonderful. All right, let's do a little exclamation point. And a little dot, of course. Just put this where it's supposed to go. Doesn't matter if it's straight or not, it's totally fine. We'll put this here and we're going to add a lot more glue. You could also use foam tape or any kind of double-sided tape, sticky tape. I think since I put that glitter on there, it made it a little hard to get it to stick. Also pay attention to where the edge is. I went over a little bit here, which means it probably won't fit in the envelope if I leave it like that. There we go. Tuck it right back in there. Okay, so you can see our jack-o'-lantern looks perfect on two different settings here. I think they're great. Once we have our card bases done, you can see just how quickly these come together. So these were just embossed using an embossing folder. I'm gonna use my sandpaper and just go over the edges just a little bit. And you can leave it just like that, but I'm going to use some Rusty Hinge Distress Oxide ink and just put that over these leaves. I think this look is absolutely fabulous. This one as well. And I love that you can use embossing folders and die cuts again and again for so many different cards. You really get your money's worth, I feel like, when you purchase tools of that kind, because you can use these for so many different things. You can put them in journals, you can use them as a card front, and other things. So now we just need to glue these down to a card base, add a sentiment, and we can be done. You could easily wrap some jute around here, some twine. And I think I might just go with this one. But you can see real easily this one could make a nice card front as well. Let's go ahead and glue this down. We could ink these edges. I might just do that once I've got it on the base here. Make sure it opens the correct way. Okay, I'll open it up and give it a press down really good. And then I'm going to go ahead and ink around at those edges. And I also had the fossilized amber ink out here. You could definitely go in with some yellows, maybe just a little touch of red if you wanted to. Be careful with mixing the red with the green, as sometimes it will just make brown. But for a fall card, I think it's very appropriate to add any of those other beautiful colors that are fall. And of course, along the inside, you can add in a little bit of ink. And you can leave it with or without a sentiment. I think it's beautiful either way. And on the inside, you don't even have to write a sentiment. You can easily just put one of these little leaves down in the corner, like so. And this could just be a simple thinking of you card. I kind of like that. But we could also add a sentiment up here. There's plenty of room. It's perfect. You can see just how quickly that one can be done. I think I am going to leave this one just really simple. So we've got our other ones that have these beautiful little paper piecings. That does feel quite a bit heavier, so make sure if you are sending these in the mail, you are aware of that. One with a sentiment of boo inside, and one that says Happy Halloween inside, trick or treat. And this one is just plain. Maybe you want to put thinking of you, or maybe it's a birthday. Maybe you want to put happy birthday if they have a fall birthday. The last thing I like to do is make sure I put something fun on the envelope. And I'm going to go ahead and use that same stamp set that I pulled that other sentiment off. This says Happy Halloween. But look how fun it would be to put these bats. Want to make sure you leave room for your address and your from address. I think it just makes these envelopes just a little extra special when you see them come in the mail. You know it's something fun inside. And it doesn't have to be a lot or anything perfect, just a little bit of something to let them know something Halloween is coming their way. I'll re-ink this and stamp it again. I really like those bats on there. And if you don't like to stamp on the front of your envelope, you can always stamp on the back. In place of stamping, maybe you don't have any Halloween stamps, you could definitely use some stickers or even just a white pen and do some doodling. I believe black marker would show on these too. The color of these envelopes is called Truffle. Okay, and then I've got a lovely little cobweb. Let's go ahead and ink this up and see what it looks like on the back. And that cobweb is like the perfect shape to fit on our little flap here. Ah, look how fun. I love that too. So I hope no matter how you spend World Card Making Day, whether you spend the day watching our playlist of lovely paper cards made by all of these wonderful paper crafters, or if you are actually going to make some cards and give them to someone special, I think it is a wonderful way to spend the day and to make sure that we send out a little appreciation and paper. But a huge thanks to Leah and Christy for helping out with this wonderful collaboration. Huge thank you to all of the creators making cards today. And also a huge thank you to you, the viewers, for watching our playlist. Be sure you check out all of the creators and all of the things that they're making, whether it's a super simple card or something a little more elaborate with this fun little focal point here. I've had so much fun just making these cards with you. Real quick, I hope you have enjoyed and will like, subscribe, and check out that playlist. Thanks again to everybody, and I hope you have a wonderful World Card Making Day.